This
Attendees will be
conference will
nurses
now be
only.
recorded.
Again, John?
The attendees will be nurses only, or will it? We will have
No, no.
doctor and physiotherapists.
Yeah, we have doctor, we have nurses, and we have from PT.
Okay, great.
Okay, and you have John for IT or any IT training. I will make tomorrow or any day. Okay, no problem.
Sorry.
For IT, if there any technical issue or any technical detail,
Yeah.
Okay, we can do
Okay.
it next week. No problem, not today.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sure. It's IT training with you, right? As a super user, admin.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So I will discuss it.
Yeah, we will start after 12 minutes. Okay.
Sure, sure. I will stay online. Okay. I'm
Thank
just
you.
you prepare,
Yeah,
please, the attendees, the list of attendees.
yeah, we have. I will send.
Paper.
I'll send back right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. خلينا نتوقع كل مطلق طبعا بما اني حصدرها ممكن استخدمها على كل الاحوال انا ببعث لك واتس وانت كل واحد والله عبد الرحمن سامعني؟
الحين أنا سامعكم. Hi everybody, hope all the best for you. Thank you.
دكتور خضر سامعني؟
ايوه في صدى عندك مش عندي.
John,
Hi.
can we start?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Assalamualaikum. I'm John. So first is I will introduce myself. So I am the implementer of the system and one of its developer. So first, what is MIMS? So MIMS stands for Medical Information Management System. This is our electronic medical record, and the base software is M-Files. Okay.
Please
So
hold, John. Please hold. Just a moment, please.
yes. Okay, sure.
This is just a technical issue.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, John.
Okay, sure. Okay. So the M-Files is the one that we customize the MIMS. Okay, so Manzil UAE, Manzil Qatar, and MIMS Albait have different MIMS. Okay, so we have a different vault. It means we will not share informations between systems, but we have the same backbones, forms, softwares, and some of the workflows will be the same. Okay. So access MIMS, we need to have our iPads. Okay, so primarily, our nurses, for those who go to patients' home, they use the iPads. And for those who are admin staff, we use the desktop. It has the same process, only the views are different. The mobile device is more easy to access. Okay, so I believe you have already the iPads there who are configured. And to access it, I sent you the username and password. So each user will have a username and password individually. So it's like their electronic signature. So it's part of the confidentiality requirements. So also the device should have a passcode or a lock code. And we have implemented in the system auto log out. Okay, so it means after 15 minutes of inactivity or user is not using the system, 15 minutes it will log out. So other person, unauthorized person, will not able to access it. Right? So since this is an electronic medical record, so here we do patient registration, assessment, medications. There are many confidential informations here. Okay, so we assign the permissions. So only nurses or doctors or PTs assigned to a specific patient can have the access to the patient. Okay, there are levels of access. I believe the managers, the doctors, or those who have a higher position, they have access to all patients. For nurses, only to those patients they are assigning. Okay. Right. So the first process of using MIMS is patient registration, right? So let's say we have a new patient, someone registered it. So the one who will register the patient, it should be controlled. It should not be assigned to all nurses. It should assign one team leader or coordinator or someone who will put the patient in the system. Okay, so I will show you an example. So here is the mobile view or the iPad view. Okay, so open M-Files. So it requires internet connection in order to use the system. It's either Wi-Fi or 3G data. Okay? So, however, we can use offline mode. Then after using offline, when we are connected to internet, we are able to sync. Okay? I will just show you the first process because I'm already logged in. So here I will log in my user account. So this is just a test. So upon logging in, as you can see, the system is loading. So it will load the structure. So usually this happens at the first time you logged in. So we'll just wait. Going back to the patient registration, once we registered a patient, it generates a medical record number. So it's an MRN. So each patient should have a MRN identifier. So here, upon logging in, there is a section here where we can pass an add section. This is where we create form or enter forms. Okay? So what will I do is I will register a patient, click plus. There are different categories. So each user, depending on the position, will see different forms. Example, doctors. Doctor will see only physician's order and some stuff. How about for nurses, they will see nurses' notes. Okay? For PTs, they will see rehabilitations. Okay? So here, it's arranged alphabetically. I select patient. Okay? Now, this patient, this has different parts, the forms. We call this the patient form. It has the general information, contact details, address, insurance card, referral facility, admission status, referral to other facility, hospitalization, and diagnosis. Okay? So each of these, it's collapsible. When I click it, it will open, it will close. So here, there are fields which is mandatory. Okay? So as of now, the mandatory or required field to register a patient is name. So I for the text, I will just put as patient 3. And the medical record number is automatic. So the medical record is a serial number, MRN 1, 2, 3, that is generated by the system based on the order patient is entered. So that's why we need to, control the patient registration. It should be assigned to someone. So you need to assign one who will register the patient. Then once they register it, it will reflect here. From home screen, go here to browse. So in browse here we can see all the files, the forms and folders. Let's go to all patient list. Okay. So since we are on the test, I enter some patients which is test only. So as you can see, here is the list of our patients. So MRN 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this has patients should have at least 2 identifiers. Okay. So access to view this patient, as I said before, is by users or by nurses. Okay? So the one who will assign the nurses or the doctors will be the one who registered the patient. Example, okay, I go to MRN1. And I see I can open the form here. So these are the details. So in this side are the fields. Okay. So here are some required fields by standard. So if you in Saudi, if you want to add more fields, more information, just let me know. We can add it here. Okay. So here on the admission status, we have the date of admission, what is the service being provided, home care nursing, care description, visit type, care hours is 1 to 3 hours nursing. So yeah. And here we have a section for primary care provider, registered nurses, Albait physician, and physiotherapist. So this field is very important for access. Okay? So we need, it's also a JCI requirements, we need to identify who are the nurses or the clinicians who are accessing the patient file, okay? And it should be limited to them. So once we enter it, who is the user? So as you can see, I have users here. So you can select. So this is controlled. Someone who will use this function should be limited to the one who registered the patient. Okay. So this will be the only one who can access the patient file. All right. Now I save. So in this, we introduce also the patient status. Okay. So patient status are the states of the patient. So let me show you. So when we registered a patient, so the default status is pre-assessment or pre-admission. It means new patient, newly registered. Now, once the patient is admitted to us, it means we started the care, the patient will be active, okay? Active state. Once the patient is discharged, maybe transferred to other country, or the care is completed, or they transfer to other facility, so the patient will be discharged. Okay? Whether admitted to hospital or transferred to emergency room, so we change also the status. So the one who registered the patient should be the one change the status as well. It should be controlled. From here, we generate some reports based on the state's example. I can get a view of how many patients we currently have, how many admissions we had for a specific month, how many are discharged. Okay, so right. So going back to some files, so each transition from one state to another, it requires mandatory fields. Okay, so I will show you something. So okay, so each status, in order to be changed to that state, we need some of the forms or some of the fields completed. Example, as I said before, the default state is pre-assessment or new patient, where the mandatory only is name. Okay, because sometimes when we register a patient, we don't have all the details, only the name, and we will not wait to admit the patient in the system. We will not wait for the other details because it may take time, and we don't want the patient to wait. Okay, now, but if the patient status was changed to active, it will ask many mandatory fields. Except these are the list. I will send you this also. So we have the name, date of birth, gender, nationality, date of admissions, diagnosis, primary care provider. So why did we enforce this? Ensure compliance of documentation to users. Because some of the patient, we don't have complete data. Example, only name. We don't have the PT address, contact details, which are required as per standard or required for the reports that we need. So to move users or to have the users complete this form, we have controls here. So the mandatory fields, we can modify it based on your requirement. So as we use memes, I believe you can test which one is really required, which is not. So I can do it, or Mr. Amjad, we will have a training so we can give him access and know how to deal with this. But for the moment, I can provide support. So as you can see, there are many mandatory fields. Okay, so when we transfer the patient to emergency room, it will ask also for different mandatory fields, which is where is the hospital, what is the date, what is the time, what is the reason. Also admission to hospital, same. It will ask date and time. Also, when the patient is discharged, it will ask for the date of discharge, disposition, and discharge summary is completed. So these are essential as per standards and for the reports that we generate. Okay. All right. So moving back, if you have questions, just ask me. Or if you have recommendations, you can give me. I will take note of it and implement it to the system. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, regarding the one important thing is the diagnosis. Okay. So in this section, on the lower part, there's a medical diagnosis section. So we have here 4 fields, which is the primary diagnosis and secondary diagnosis. So the current workflow from us is The doctor, the company doctor, will put the primary diagnosis and the secondary diagnosis. So primary is the main reason why the patient is hospitalized, and secondary are the comorbidities. Okay? So the one who put the ICD codes are the coder or medical coder. So they receive notification that there is new patient. They need to put the ICD code. So in Albait, it's up to you. Sometimes the doctor can, most of the time, doctor can enter also the ICD. Okay, so you can see. So you will just, most of the pills are controlled by drop list. So you can just put select diabetes and okay. So that's it. So then click save. Okay.
How many diagnoses can we add?
Actually, doctor, we have for the primary only one. For the comorbidities, for the secondary, we can put as many as you want. We haven't put control yet, but we can put if you want. And the secondary, we can make many, up to 10 or more.
Okay, we should control it up to 4. Okay.
Okay, so the secondary will be up to 4. How about the primary, doctor?
No, it should be a
One.
single diagnosis
Okay,
is for the
okay.
primary, and then we can add up to 4 secondary diagnoses.
Okay, doctor, who will be the one to enter the ICD? Is it you?
Here in Saudi Arabia, yeah, the treating physician, he's the one who
Okay,
should enter the
okay,
ICD.
okay. So I will, because I will control that only the doctor can enter it. All other is
Yes, the only doctor.
you.
Yes, because all of the other nurses and the physiotherapists will be under the care of a doctor, huh? So
Yes,
the doctor is the only one who can put the diagnosis.
yeah, okay, sure.
Thank you.
Sure, doctor. Okay, welcome. Okay. So some of the fields are self-explanatory, so I don't want to discuss all. It will take time. Okay, but you know, as you use the system, you will see, especially for the patient information. So these are the basic fields, contact number. So there is another field which is important. So these are regarding census. I make it as mandatory as of now. So it's about the location, the coordinates of the patient. So we can see the Google map. So it's up to you if you want it. But on our census, this is important because we can see where are the distribution of the patient. Yeah. So it's like that. Okay. It will link to the maps. All right. All right. So that's it. So on this patient form, we also attach here the ID. Okay, the insurance card or the national ID, like the ICAMA. So we can put it here. So we can add file. So how to put it? So since we are using iPads, okay, so it's either we upload it directly from the file manager or from gallery or camera. Okay. So it's easy to use. It's just like taking a picture. Okay, so I will just show you. Click it, access it, just open. You will see. This is just an example of the ID. So any identification card. Okay. We can put another file if the patient have another ID. So we can put it. Okay. So now I just want you to explain that all changes in the system is monitored. Example, you did edit some informations, then you save. So all changes are tracked. As you can see here, we have different versions of the form. So it means the form is 7 times changed or edited, and this is the one who edited it, modified by. Okay. So we can generate or create a report. What are the changes in this page, this form? So it's part of the requirements for the standard GCIE again. Okay. So now I will show you how to change the status. Oh, by the way, first I need to, I will show you something here in this section. There is a comment section. So on here we can put some data. Example, the patient was visited as blah blah blah. So this is pre-text. All right, like a conversation. So in this section, which is the workflow, here we can see the states. Okay, we can see now the patient is active. So we can change the status from active to inactive. Example, I will discharge this patient. When I click save, it give me an error message. Why? It shows that the precondition is not met. The object does not match the condition. Date of discharge is not empty. Okay, so it means before I discharge this patient, I need first to put a date of discharge. Okay, so the date of discharge is not automatic when did you change the states, because sometimes, example, the patient discharged at night and you don't have access to the system. So in the morning you can do the discharge and you can put here the date that they discharged today. What is the disposition? Cancelled care. Okay. Discharge summary completed? No, not yet. Okay. Now save. And the patient, go to workflow, select the state, select inactive. Okay. Yeah. That's again, this is one of the JCIA, referred patient to other facility. Let's say when the patient is discharged, did we refer it to other facility or other hospital? I will select no. No. Sometimes you will check why we have many mandatory fields, why there is many data. It's, since we are using an electronic system, the system controls, for us to be compliant with the standards. Okay, inactive. Now it's inactive discharge. Okay, all right. So if you have a big list of patients, so the view using the PC will be different. Okay, I will show you. So here is our PC. So let's open Albait. Okay. So as you can see, I was auto logged out again. So this is the PC view. As you can see, it's almost the same, but it's just a bit different. So here are the folders. It's same with this. Same. Okay. But when we go to the all patient list, it will be a big. We will see data, some fields here: nationality, city, of admission, service provided, etc. Okay. So the moment I make changes in the iPads, as long as it is connected to the internet, it will immediately be implemented here on our server or the system. Okay. So changes are concurrent. Okay. So moving back here. So patient is also sorted by status. Let's go to patient by state. When I open it, I will show folders inactive and pre-assessment. Okay, there is no active because there is no active patient yet because I discharged already the active patient. So we have here new pre-assessment, new. Okay. Inactive. Okay. So now this inactive patient, let's say this patient return our service. Okay. From inactive, I change it to active. Okay. So Why? It has some precondition. The object does not match the condition. Primary diagnosis IDCD is not empty. Okay, so the system again has something. So I need to put an ICD to the medical diagnosis. It's essential hypertension. Okay, just an example.
Can you write the code of
Doctor?
the phrase itself?
Actually,
Let's say
doctor, the
that you will write
ICD.
the item.
Yes, doctor. Actually, this is a drop down. So on the ICDs, these are already available based on the imported data. So you can put example, diabetes mellitus. You can search.
Can you use the code itself instead of writing the
Yes, yes, doctor. As you can see, anything here you can type, it will search. Example is E
11.4 the diabetes.
11.4.
It is not here.
What is it, doctor?
I10, let's say, for hypertension. I10.
I. Then
10. 10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As long this is applicable to all drop lists, doctor. You can see this is a word. You can put hypertension here, type, but all the fields with hypertension will appear. So it depends on you. You can put the keyword. So all hypertension here. You will just select. But if you know the code already or specific code, you can just put. Alright. So here, I don't know if you need this, doctor. We can remove this or it might confuse us. This is the generic, the general primary diagnosis that we see in the books. So this don't have codes. Okay, so it's just a normal. So when you see a drop down, some drop down you can add a content. Okay, example diabetes mellitus unspecified. So this is not the ICD. Okay, just select add new value. Then okay. So in the future, it will be saved on the drop list. Okay. So all of the forms is like this. They have these features. Okay. All right. Do you have question, doctor? Doctors?
Yes. Who will be the authorized person to add the diagnosis? Not the ICD-10 one, the other one, the primary diagnosis. You added a vault now.
This one, you mean authorized, giving permission?
Can you click on this one again?
Yes.
The primary diagnosis is to add a new value.
Yes, add new value, doctor. It means add new content.
Yeah, who is the authorized one to add the new content?
Doctor.
All doctors.
Yeah, default doctor.
Yeah, this should be controlled also. This is not allowed by Saudi Council for coding. So we need to control this list. This list should be available based on a reference. Let's say that the ICD-10 or the CBT or the DRG should be, there should be a reference for that one, and we should not add any diagnosis without that reference. Okay?
Okay, so it's like a narrative description of the diagnosis that you will be used as basis to enter the ICD codes.
We can use a description, or we can choose a chief complaint instead of using it as a primary diagnosis.
Okay. So do you want me to rename this, doctor, to description of diagnosis?
I think should be the chief complaint instead of the primary diagnosis, so the doctor can write whatever he wants.
Okay, so I will rename this a chief complaint. Okay, this one.
Okay, And regarding to the primary diagnosis ICD, this one should be controlled. No one can add, no one can modify, because the ICD is an international coding.
Yes, doctor. Yeah. So, yeah, because as you can, we implemented already. As you can see, there is no add new value.
Yeah, very good.
How about the secondary diagnosis, doctor? What do you want me to name this one? Not the ICD.
No need for this one as a secondary. We should maintain the secondary ICD up to 4. Okay.
So just I will remove this, huh? Remove.
Okay, and keep the first one, but not as a primary diagnosis, as a chief or as a patient. Okay.
But the ICD, secondary diagnosis ICD, I will retain.
We need to keep it also, the secondary diagnosis, but we will control it. It should be up to 4 for secondary diagnosis.
Okay. Then shall I make this mandatory before meeting the patient, secondary?
We cannot make it mandatory because not all of the patients have a secondary diagnosis.
Okay, sure. But the primary is mandatory.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, great, doctor. Also, okay, moving forward, in this section, you will see a diabetes screening. So this is about diabetes management. So I will tell you here in UAE, I will just share you. So we have a diabetes management. We have a diabetes specialist nurse. Okay. So this could be a doctor or a nurse specializing diabetes. So we control here minimum and maximum CBG threshold because not all patient, especially diabetic, has the same threshold. Example, for patient 1, her normal is 120 to 160, which is for other patient, it will be high, but for this patient, it's normal. So we have control here that whenever we monitor the CBG, if the result is more than or less than the threshold, it will give notification to the nurses or the doctor. It will give a report as well. So is it, do you need this as of now?
Of course, but it is not a mandatory field.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can focus more here in the latter part, okay, when we have okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the forms that we create, okay? Because we just registered the patient. We do some assessment, admission assessment, etc., medication. So go to that. So let's go here on this link icon. So as you can see, these are the forms. I will just show some examples what we entered. So in here, there are the nursing care plan, medications, some assessments. Okay, so it's here. So how to create a form? So again, click this plus. Then there are categories of forms here. Okay, I will send you the list. I have this in my. What are the example? Assessment. Inside assessment, we have 3 kinds. Okay, so here in UAE we have 3. In some branch we have only 2. We only do admissions and daily physical. So pre-admission assessment is an assessment done before we admit the patient. Example, we had a call, we receive a call from the hospital, we need to do some assessment for one patient, then this is what we will do. Okay, so this patient might not be admitted to us. Okay, depends on the assessment. Okay, so example, I will select my patient 1. So here, as you can see, we can put the date and time. General consent taken. Yes. Primary diagnosis, secondary diagnosis. So history of illness. So these are free text. So these are medical history, select clinically indicated. I will just put a new value as medical. Then it will show what are the diagnoses the patient had before. Okay. Okay. So the vital signs are here as well. So some system assessment, medications. Yes, hello?
This would be mandatory after you check it that there is a past medical history, صح?
Yeah, actually, as of now, I did not put it mandatory, but because we are on the test, so later I will put. Do you want all these fields mandatory?
No, not at all.
Yeah, because if I set mandatory all, we cannot save unless all the fields are completed. So as you can see, doctor, we can select clinically or not clinically indicated. It means, example, the patient do not have past medical history. Just select not clinically indicated. Okay. If I select clinically indicated, it will add past medical history here.
More field. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Also, doctor, same with respiratory example. The patient is the problem is only respiratory. Okay? Cardiovascular or let's say neurological is normal. So I select this, not clinically indicated. Only respiratory and cardiovascular. So I will select clinically indicated. Where is it? Okay, so it will ask for a respiratory assessment. Select add new value. Respiratory, and it will give me some assessment form. Example, lung sounds. Respiration. Irregular. Okay. If I select off, yes. Respiratory support. So these are the basic assessment. So these are self-explanatory from the doctor part. So if you need more fields or you want to remove unnecessary fields, properties, we can do that. Just let me know. Send request to us, and I will remove it for you. So
can we get this field like a field map and a list?
Doctor, actually, I have a word with these fields. I will send it to you, and if you want, you just comment there if you need it
Please.
or no.
Please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Doctor, who in your current process, who usually do the admission assessment or the initial assessment? Doctor?
Initial assessment scored by a doctor, a team, and this team contains a physician, nurse, and a physiotherapist.
Okay.
So the doctor, he is the one who takes that responsibility as per Ministry of Health regulation.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the pre-admission assessment. So it's up to you, doctor. If you want, do you do admission before assessment before admission? Or
Sure.
during admission?
Yeah, we are doing that.
Oh, okay.
Pre-assessment.
Pre-assessment. Yeah. Then when you do an let's say a pre-assessment during the actual admission, you do also another assessment.
Sure.
Okay. So that is the admission assessment here. Now, this admission assessment will require more field. Okay, it has any contents. Why? We have here the personal habits, some significant test result, blood and transfusion history. So again, this is as per JCIA. We have the review of system, assessment, socioeconomic, psychological, spiritual, care plans, special population. So the content is too much we discussed actually. So you know what? I will let you, if it's okay with you, if it will work to you. So I will give you the form in Word where we can see all these fields, and you can explore yourself. Because I don't need to teach you how, because I already knew that you are very good in assessment and in this field. So yeah, so I'm just showing you. I will not go through all the fields. Okay. In this physical assessment, the vital signs, actually it's connected forms. The vital sign here is connected to the vital signs form. When you select add new value, so date and time. So the one who may enter the vital sign could be the nurse or the doctor. So we have systolic, diastolic, heart rate, body temperature, oxygen saturation, and pain assessment. So here we did some control again with pain scale. Example, if the pain scale is 4, it will trigger a pain assessment, mandatory. So the pain assessment is just the generic one, which is with the location, character, trigger. Okay, so again, if this is drop list. All right. Okay. Right. So in this form also we link the medication. Okay. So on the current process here on MEMS, there is 2 ways to enter the medication. Okay. First, the doctor will enter it directly. Okay. Second is the nurse will enter it and send it to the doctor for approval. Then the doctor approve. Okay. So which one will suit you best, doctor?
Both.
Both.
We need
Okay.
both of them. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because the thing is, some of the doctors, they are busy. Okay. Not all of the time they have the system, especially for home care with a 24-hour service. So in our current process, the doctor can do some verbal order or telephone order. Example, a nurse referred, patient is vomiting. Then the doctor answered the phone and said, okay, give this. Now the nurse will enter it in the system and send it for approval. Then the doctor the next day will approve it. Right? So I will show you something. Okay. How to do it. Okay. Again, click plus, select medication. So we have 5 kinds of medication. So we have as PRN as needed. So it's up. We can change the name. It's up to you if it suits you. The insulins, regular medications are the standard one which we give round the clock. Example is amlodip and milligram once a day. Okay. Telephone order and verbal order, these are being entered by the nurse whenever they receive an order. The physician. Okay. Right. Let's go to regular medication. 1. This generic name is a link to the Saudi FDA. Actually, I got the what you call this, the file from the FDA website. So it has all the medications listed there. It's 7,000 plus medications. So as you can see, yeah. Example, this one. So the dosage is 1 capsule. Route, oral, so time. This time when the medication is to be given, then okay, date of start. So usually the date of start is the date of order. Then until when? Okay. So here we put dates until when the medication will be given. Okay, example, until February 28. Then additional instruction. Let's say hold for, you can add, let's say hold for blood for systolic. You can add this drop list. Then save. Oh, yeah, I forgot. This patient was inactive, so I cannot prescribe. So I need to put this active. I will just use a random diagnosis. So okay. So to see the medications of patients, so we can go to medication by patient. I will select the patient. Then I can see all the current medication. So there is one medication I need for approval. So this one is a new order, example, from the doctor. I want to send it for approval to the doctor. But there is one precondition. So it need to attach, it's an attachment of prescription. So doctor, I have a question. Do you currently give a prescription paper to the patient to buy medications?
Yes.
How do you give it? Do you give it with the nurse?
I'll give you the mandatory fields for that prescription, and it should be generated by the system.
Okay. You mean printed?
Yeah, we should print the prescription and give it to the patient by hand.
Okay, okay. Okay, what is the mandatory, doctor?
I will send to you today the mandatory fields for that prescription. You know, should contain the patient name, the age, the diagnosis, and the brand name, the generic name, the route of administration, the mandatory things.
Okay. So it's
that should be
some is already here, right? Okay. All right. Actually, doctor, when we launch MEMS, is it okay if we do prescription for paper first? Then because printing will go another development. So is it okay with you? Even though we MEMS, you still use paper prescription?
Again, please.
When we use MEMS, example, tomorrow we start using MEMS. Is it okay we still continue writing medication prescription in paper? Because development of automatic generation, it will need another development. It will take time.
Let's say it will take how many days?
Actually, I need to discuss it with Sir Yasser because he's currently on leave. So he will do the development. So he will return on next week. So I will discuss to him and we will give you the time.
What about the medical report? Can we generate a medical report using the system?
As of now, no. We can do screenshot if you want. We can screenshot, then send it.
Okay, let's say that patient, the one that you filled the data for him now, how you can generate a medical report for him? Let's say the treating physician in the hospital, or you will refer the case to other hospital, or the doctor will review his medical record. How you can print a medical report for him?
Actually, what we did here, we create a discharge summary. It's called discharge summary. So it has the referral facility or referral facility physicians, date of admission and reason for admission. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about this one. But how you can print this data? How
actually, as of now, what we do is we haven't developed the printing for this. It's not yet developed. We are on the process. But we currently, print screen.
Print screen?
Yes.
Will not be a professional issue.
Yeah. Actually, like what I said, it will go another development. We will develop that. We will get back to you. Okay, so I will include it in one of your requests. A medical report and prescription.
Yeah, medical record, prescription later on, the claims for the insurance companies. We will discuss it later. But as of now, it should contain the prescriptions auto-generated from the system, as the doctor he's the one who prescribed that one or approved it. The second one is the medical report.
Okay.
The third one is the sick leaves or the escort leave.
Sick leave?
I will send it to you today at the end of the training, inshallah, and then we will discuss.
All right, sure. Okay, but now the important thing is to launch the system to our patients. Then our nurses and doctor will use is for documentation. Is it right, doctor?
Yes, it is right.
Okay. May I know how many patients we have now?
Active patients?
Yes, Albait.
Nowadays around 10 patients active.
10, okay. So after this training, for tomorrow morning, someone need to put these patients in the system.
Okay, what about the discharged patient?
Yes, we should put it all
nowadays.
All, doctor, all, whether active or inactive. They have a medical record number?
Yeah, we have numbers.
What is the serial number, doctor, of your MRN? Is it 1, 2, 3, like that?
Yeah, because we are doing that one in a basic method, just a paperwork, until the MEMS is ready. But we need to transfer all of that data, even for the
yes.
patient.
Yes. We need to transfer all, doctor, from patient 1 to the last. Their MRN should be reflected it. So I will reset the counter. We will start from the 1, then someone from your side need to enter it. Just let me know who, so I can give access to registered.
Okay, I will set it.
Okay, doctor. Thanks. All right. So, all right. So I will just show you how the process of medication assignment is approval. How is it? How did it work? Okay. So this medication, it requires a prescription. Okay, so it's attached here. Now, we need to send it for approval. Let's say I'm a nurse, I enter it on the system, I will send it to the doctor for approval. If the doctor created already, no problem if the doctor, because the nurse can administer it. Okay, the purpose of this approval is for the nurse to have an administration record. Okay, because it should be approved first by the doctor. Okay? It's not like whenever a nurse enter a medication in the system, the nurse can just directly administer it. No, they cannot. Still need a doctor prescription or order. Okay? But if the doctor enter the medication directly in the system, no need for approval, because the doctor is already the one who entered it. Okay? So let's say I'm a nurse, I will go to workflow and I will send it for approval. Select this state, select send for approval, then select save. Now, this medication will be assigned to the doctor. So currently I assign it to myself. Okay. How we will know who will receive the assignment? Here on the patient field, on the admission status, this is another thing that we need to do when we register a patient tomorrow. We need to assign who is the nurses and who are the doctors, because maybe some cases one patient is assigned to a specific doctor only, not all doctor. So the one Albait physician that I put here will be the one who will receive all the referrals, notifications, and about the approvals. Okay. It will reflect where? Here and assigned to me section in this lower side. So open it. Then the doctor will review what the nurse entered. Go to the workflow, select approve. Okay, then save. If you are using a PC, it's much more easier, because you can do multi-select. You can select many medication at once and approve it all the time. Okay, here. And just click this, approve. And okay. Now, once this medication is approved, it will generate a dose reminders or administration record.
Who's doing the assignment, John?
The one who doctor is the doctor usually. You are assigned to approve one.
The nurse wants an approval for the medicine that she is writing before.
Yes.
So who will do that assignment process, the workflow?
The nurse will enter first. The nurse will enter it on the system and send it to the doctor for approval. Then the doctor will approve.
Okay.
Okay. Is it okay with you, that process, doctor?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, do we have nurses there?
Yeah.
I will show you how. Okay. So I will show you how to administer medication. Here, there's a section for dose reminders. We open this. We have today's pending. It means what are the medications that I need to give today. Okay, open here. Select the patient. So, doctor, do you have patients with 12 hours, 3 hours, and 24 hours care?
We have the intermittent visit,
Yeah.
which is measured by hour. Let's say 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yes.
And then the continuous care, it
Okay.
is 8, 12, and 24 straight duty hours.
All right. Great. So, during intermittent care, let's say the patient has many medication. Who give medications when the nurse is not there?
The patient himself or the caregiver. The caregiver.
Okay,
maybe
right.
the caregiver will be a family member or a primary care assistant.
Okay.
Depends.
So,
but our responsibility that the care that we are provided on the intermittent care itself.
Okay. Do you record the medication administered by the caregiver out of the nurse out of intermittent visit?
Yeah, we are recording it, but we cannot give them an access to our files or to our solutions. So we are recording it manually.
Okay, doctor. All right. So now those confirmations or reminders are connected to the medication that is approved by the doctor. So if it's not approved by the doctor, it will not appear here. Okay. For example, these are the list of the medications pending for the patient. So how to administer it? I will just open it. You will see the date and time. And again, there is a workflow here. Okay. So on the state, there is administered, not administered, and given by relatives or caregiver. So for those medications that are given by the relative, you need to put this one. But it will ask another mandatory field. So this is one of the GSI requirements. Let's say the family give the medications. Okay. Now, what is the responsibility of the nurse? The nurse need to put the reason why it is given by the relative. Okay? So, yeah, I need to rename this. Sorry. I will rename this to Albait nurse. Okay. So, let's say beyond duty hours or the family refuse or beyond Albait nurse duty hours, I will rename this. And what is the action taken? So, health education. And emphasize the importance on adhering medication. Save. Then given by relatives. Now, what if the nurse is the one who gave? Okay, open here. Click this pen icon. Select the name of the user, current user. Select current user. Save. Workflow. Administered. So that's it. Then you can see today's administered. Okay. So you can see this also using the PC. The PC view will show the same. So let's go to those reminders, administration records. Select the patient, the month, today. So here, okay, what is administered? You can see. Okay. Right. Do you have any question here?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the documentation side. Okay. So for the doctor visit, so we have a specific documentation for you. So how to create it? Select plus, select clinical documentation, select physician documentation. The patient, you select the patient. So example 1, you put the date. So you can backdate. Okay? You can backdate. Actually, I have a control here, but I haven't implemented it yet because we are on the, let's say, you cannot backdate 2 days back. It should be within 24 hours only. If you want to backdate, you need to have a special permission. You need to ask the special permission, and you need to enter the reason why you enter it. Okay. Also, we have the control to have, it's like if you predating future date. Example, I will put 31 of December. So it will not. It will give issues. Okay. So we have here the chip complaint section, complaint duration. So again, doctor can add. We have here the review of system. So these are the parts. So chip complaint, review of system. This is the subjective assessment of doctors. Physical examination are the observation, objective. So just let me know if you want some changes here, some modifications. I can apply. History, past surgical, family. So this is So this is done mostly during visits, during encounter to the patients. Differential diagnosis, impression and plan, so primary and secondary, medical care plan. You can put here assistance in the ADL, medication management. So you can add new value or enter a new data. Diagnostic request. Prescription, you can put medication.
What's the meaning of diagnostic request? What do you mean by it?
It's like if you want to request urinalysis, your plan.
Okay, the lab, radiology. What
Yes.
else? So the blood tests or the lab request. The radiology also, it is here.
I will pick up. Yes.
Okay, this is the X-rays. Yeah. And what about the? Okay, what about the doctor requests rather than the radiological and the lab investigation? Let's say the doctor want to add a request for dressing or for an IV drip.
It will be medical care plan, doctor.
It would be the care plan. Okay.
Yeah, let's say one dressing, one care management. Yeah. Okay, you can add new value actually. Here you can see.
Okay, it should be under the care plan because the diagnostic it will be the radiology and the lab only. Anything will help us in diagnosis. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's clear.
Okay. You have also the medication, you can enter it. Actually, if you don't need to, there are medications who are these are from the system that we entered that you approved before, so you can just copy it. It's still the same. This is from the patient record, or you can add a new medication. referral plan, if you want to refer it to other advise patient to consult neurologist or transfer to hospital. So you can add new value again if you want to enter. And of course, remarks for comments, narrative plan. And patient education also. So this is optional. So actually, it's one of the JCIA education record. So this is very helpful. Example, there's a patient and you advise them to use cane or do deep breathing exercise. You can put it here. So recipient. So what are the need, the barriers? Let's say non-compliant, teaching method, and what are the information you provide. So these are self-explanatory. So the nurse's role is to provide health education. If possible, every day, every visit, they create education record. Right? In the physician documentation, I haven't put mandatory pills because it's too much. So for the respiratory, just a quick discussion. So for the eye, it's like example, doctor, I have no abnormality. No abnormality. Only the problem is respiratory, so you can leave it like that.
Okay, John, this is very nice. But how I can review it in a proper way, not in this, let's say that I want to refer this patient and the other doctor want to review this patient's case. He should come again to this page to view all of that records, or is there another place that he can view it as a list or as a report?
Okay. All right. Hold on. I will create. You mean view it bigger? Wait. Hold on. So here on the this one, doctor.
So I can view it as a one list, huh? Good.
Yeah.
This one cannot be printed at the meantime, huh?
Yeah. But you know, I will ask your requirements. Do you want this printed?
Or at least to export it to a file.
Export it. So now what we can, so now, doctor, what we can export is the patient status, patient census, the list of active. But this one, I will log this as a request as to be printed. So you want this doctor to send to other doctor for referral? Example, you want to send it to another specialist.
Yeah, sometimes we need to send it to another specialist or to the ministry itself. Sometimes we need to submit this report to the insurance company to check the patient's progress. And sometimes we are changing the physician who is taking care of that patient. So I need to give the all supporting document, including the medical report.
All right, doctor. Okay. I will just give you an idea of what we are currently doing. So just to give you, for the insurance requirement, so what we did is, let's say assessment, because we need to justify the patient. So we print screen.
Yeah, to get an approval, let's say.
That is the current process with Daman, with Tika. We print screen the assessment of nurses here, then send it for them as justification. Let's say blood glucose monitoring record, vital signs. Some we can print it. So I will show you some of our. No, I cannot because there are patient names. So, but we are able to print. Let's say the vital signs, the blood glucose. We are able to print it. And that's what we send. Also, the documentation of nurses, we are able to print it. Okay. All right. So, do you have questions for a physician documentation, doctor, rather than the request to be print out?
No, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay.
I want
another
John to be this training effective.
Okay.
I suggest to simulate a patient for assessment, a patient for physiotherapy, and a patient for nursing care at the end of the session, please, if you can.
All right, sure. Okay. All right, I will do that simulation. Okay. Now, okay. But first, I will discuss, before I discuss the physician. So now I will discuss more of the nurse documentation.
Please.
So how many nurses do we have now?
Around 6 nurses.
Okay. So, right. So the first thing that we do, let's say the patient assigned to you, you will do a visit. Okay. So the first thing that we do upon entering is assessment. Okay. Assessment of patient. So to create it, click plus again here. Select assessment. Select daily physical. So this is the nurse assessment. Select the patient. Then we have here the visual appearance. So when you see a field with asterisk, it's mandatory.
John, the nurse will check for the patient, or she will be assigned by the coordinator.
Yes. So I said, when you register a patient, you need to assign a nurse there. Okay.
So once we register a patient, we can assign to a single nurse, and she is the one who will take care of her patient, huh?
Yeah, it could be multiple, doctor. It could be one or two, depends. Because of the shifting. Yeah. But we need to identify the primary care provider. It's on the field. Okay. So now this nurse will do some assessment. So height, weight, BMI, vital signs, also neurology. So I will not go to the field. I will just show you. So again, for the assessment, select abnormality if there's some deviation. Normal, select no abnormality. Okay. Sensory abnormality, it will trigger. Okay. So again, the vital sign here. Let me create one. So I need to complete all the forms. So as you can see, I select abnormality detected on integumentary. So it will ask me to create an assessment. So the fields are self-explanatory, but I will show you something. The skin breakdown. When we select yes, it will trigger a wound assessment. So a new value. Select wound assessment. Then it has the wound type, wound location. So currently on our process, when a wound assessment is done, it gives notification to our specialized nurse for wound. So I think for this, we can give notification to the doctor about wound, especially if pressure injury. Do you have that doctor a KPI about pressure injury, or what wounds you mostly monitored? So self-explanatory. All right. So that's it. So another important documentation by the nurse is the nurse's notes, the daily patient care notes. So access it, select clinical documentation. So this is the diary of the nurse. So these are divided into 12 entries where the nurse can enter their activity per hour. Example, the nurse went to the patient home. Yeah. Then what she did is the domain is assessment. And in the care provided, these are the nursing interventions, assess nails and skin. Yeah, daily. Okay. Then they can put some notes, text, assessment done. Then on the next hour, they can put, let's say, about mobility, some elimination, mobility, let's say, active range of motion exercise done, assisted patient in ambulation, perineal care done. So these are so it depends on the routine of the patient. So you can save it. So you can add entries as long as you provide nursing care or interventions. Okay. All right. So I will now start simulation of patient. I think it will be better for you to understand the process in a systematic way. Okay. So example, start with patient registration. Okay. So I have a new patient. I receive a call that I need patient admitted. And now, the one who will register the patient will create it and enter the name. So the name could be from the ID provided by the patient. So let's say test patient 4. You can put the date of birth. Then create this record. Once you create the patient will be on all patient list. So it's loading here, MRI number 4. Or you can see the patient in patient by state. So when you see pre-assessment, these are newly registered patient. Okay. So as you can see, I have I think, yeah, 5. Someone create. Yeah, Wapa. Great. So she create a patient. So as you can see, now I need to provide the ID of this patient. So maybe identification card. So it's optional. You can do this in the latter part, but it's very important to have the ID. So I will click add file, then I will select it from my record. Sorry. Okay, it's the ID. Anyways. Okay. So let's say I have attached it. Now I will update the information. Mail. Allergy. Okay. And the most important thing is here in Manzil admission status. I will put the date of admission. Today. What is the service I am providing? Let's say home care nursing. It could be different kind of services, PT or intermittent care description. So we have here visit. So palliative care. Then how many is provided? 12 hours nursing. 1 to 3 hours nursing. Approved is the one that is approved by the insurance. Example, the insurance approved 12 hours only, but sometimes we provide 24 hours. So it could be the same. Now, sometimes we provide also caregiver service. So it could be 12 hours nursing, 12 hours caregiver. Okay. And now, who is the registered nurses? Example, brother. Who is the primary? So the Albait physician will be Dr. Kader. Physiotherapist. Sorry, I'm not sure.
Arwa.
So, Arwa. Okay. Yeah. So, it means that this patient will be seen only by Bader and Arwa. But all the doctors can see the patient and all the managers. Let's say CEO. Yeah, we have that read-only group for quality. Then I will save. Now, I will change the state to from pre-assessment to active. Okay, it has some preconditions. It means I need to complete the whole form. Okay. These are mostly JCIA. And the card number. So let's say that this patient is already active because it will take time. It will I complete all the fields. So active patients that I can give you an example is this one. Again, MRN1. Wait. Okay. So excuse me, guys. I will just transfer to another room. Sorry. All right. So going back. So now the patient is active. I have a field here for action points. So these are another JCIA requirements. So it's like, so this is where the multidisciplinary team put some discussion about current patient conditions related to health, care being provided, insurances, as long as it's related to the patient. Example, patient will be discharged in the next few days. Please provide caregiver training. Training to family. Okay. All right. So now the patient information is complete. I will now do assessment. Example, pre-admission assessment. I will go here to the link icon, select plus, select assessment. Let's say, because I will now visit the patient. Okay. Create a pre-admission assessment. I will complete all the fields, complete the form. So actually, this should be done prior to setting the patient active. So if the patient is newly registered, that's the thing that we will do. But sometimes, you know, pre-admission assessment doesn't happen. Sometimes we do admission assessment directly. Okay. So, let's say, for example, I will go here. I will select the patient. Okay. So, I will now visit 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 the patient. Okay. So, I will now Okay. History. So all right. Personal habits. Okay. So if I select smoking, yes, it will ask for smoking years too. Okay. All right. So immunization. So medication. So these are the medications before that I entered. So we can just select this one. So in vital signs. So we need to complete the form. This is a very big form. It will take 1 hour or more to complete. So care plan is here. So let's assume that I already completed all the form. Okay, let's assume completed. Okay. Now we will enter the medications of the patient. Let's say as needed. So Panadol 2 tablets. Until additional instructions. So let's say give for pain. So I will, yeah. So you can add new instructions here. Maximum dose would be 4 tablets or 6. Okay, then create. Wait, hold on. If you experience issues in the system, you need to log in, log out. So So I can, what I can do is I can go to recent, so I can see my recently accessed forms. So the link icon. So let's say I have now entered all the medications. So I can see it here. Now the next thing is the administration of medications. So to administer it, go here on the browse, those reminders. Administration records. Or we can go to today's pending to see which medication are pending of today. Okay, then select administered. But for the we need to put administered by, select current user. Save. Okay, so we need to do it in all the medications that you need to administer. Okay. So for the clinical documentation, so we have the daily. For the nurse assessment, so the first thing you need to do is the daily physical assessment. So with all the fields, the same what I created before. So you need to create it every encounter, every visit to the patients. So it includes the vital signs. So you can do vital signs monitoring every 6 hours or based on the condition of the patient, or every 4, depends upon. So to create another entry of vital signs, you need to go here, select date, time taken. Let's say this is taken later today. Click PP. Okay. Okay. Then we need to add your nurse's notes. So think of the system. It's like you are doing paper forms, but in a digital way. So daily patient care. So just enter what did you did, the activity, the turning, mobility, feeding, ADL support. So we need to put it here. So also we need to add the care plan, the nursing care plan. So it's under plan of care. So nursing care plan. So this is the traditional done that we do. Let's say the patient have cough. Let's say airway clearance. Yeah, ineffective airway clearance. What is the subjective assessment? Objective, apnea, crackles, related factor. So we need to, create in each problems. We need nursing problems. We need to create care plan. What are interventions? So let's say deep breathing. What is the dependent? Let's say oxygen, administered nebulization, coordinate with precision, then evaluation. Okay. We can put the evaluation later. So let's say the patient is now free of what we call this of DOB. So we can go to the evaluation and select maintain patient airway. Okay. Right. So we have also here risk assessment. So maybe you are away with the Braden scale and the Humpty Dumpty. So Braden scale are the for what you call this pressure injury risk. So select what, let's say, level of sensory perception, no impairment. So we do this usually once a month, this assessment. So it will generate a score of how high risk the patient will develop pressure ulcer. So it's automatic calculation. So the patient has high risk in developing pressure ulcer. So if this is the score, we need, to put extra care with the patient, more turning, hydration, watch out for signs of skin breakdown. So for all risk assessment, so this is another important form. So we go to miscellaneous. No, sorry, risk assessment. So it works same as Braden, but it's more on like what you call this for fall. So just select which is applicable. So this should be done every visit because our priority is patient safety. So let's say we identify that the patient has high risk of fall. We identify that the patient is high risk for pressure injury. So we need to do some management. So the management will be reflecting on our daily patient care. It should reflect on the clinical documentation. We need, mobility, more turning. Turning every 2 hours, hydration. Mobility, hydration, safety. The keyword, when you know our drop list is like sometimes it's 1,000 database, so you cannot just scroll down. It will take time. Just enter the keyword. Example, encourage fluid intake. My keyword is fluid. Position also, turning. So up, yeah, position. Connect. Position change. Position change every 2 hours. So what? Position. Food. Okay. Then I can put remarks. Watch out for signs of pressure. Right? So until we go to evaluation, so the evaluation part should be the end of our shift. So the main is evaluation. So we can put client is vitally stable, endorse. We can put endorse the next on duty, blah, 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 endorse to the family. You can, in each entries, you can do pretext. Especially if the intervention you want to put is not included on the care provided. All right. So we have here several forms. MIMS has hundreds of forms actually. So I will just highlight you which is the most important or mostly used. So on the respiratory management, we have the ventilator. So do we have patient with ventilator? So we enter the setting here. Let's say here on the daily. So we put the tracheostomy size, inner cannula cup penetration, blah blah blah. So this is more on RT. Okay. No, one of the most important form here for documenting the activity is the daily patient care notes. So wound care, you can put here, oxygenation, you can put everything. Okay. Now, if nurses want to view the documentation of doctors, they can see it because you can see that their care plan. Okay. Example here, physician documentation open. Select the patient. On the physician documentation, on the care plan, lowest part, you can see the assessment. If you will do this with the finger, sorry, I'm doing it with mouse, it will be much faster to scroll down. So you can see the care, the medications, and yeah, there's no care plan. I will put. Okay, and the medication. Referral plan, let's say no. There's no referral required. So you can see this and adhere with the plan of the doctor. Okay. So another form is the glucose monitoring. So it's the diabetes management. So CBG will be recorded here. So, it's depend on the case of the patient. Sometimes patient use more forms. Example, the patient has diabetes, okay? The patient will use blood glucose monitoring form. If the patient has seizure, the nurse will use seizure chart. Okay. So if no problem, only ADL assistance and monitoring, you will not use. So it's case to case basis. So when you click this plus, you can see the categories of forms that need to create. Example, if the patient has infection, select infection control. Pain, select pain. For RT, you select rehabilitation. For a problem with respiratory, select respiratory management. Wound management. Okay. All right. So, and also the education record, do not forget to create this. Plan of care. So, we can attach here, let's say you receive some laboratory result from other facility or from other hospital. So we can upload it, attach it in the system. Example, a result of chest x-ray given to you by the family. So you can attach here on the significant test result. Select the patient. What procedure is it? Here we have an add file. You can attach it. Select gallery. Let's say this is an X-ray, test X-ray. Let's assume. So I can crop. Have a better view of the result. Select next. So yeah, it's taking time. And save. This one I can rename the file by swiping it. Nah. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So you can view the result by clicking here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you can view the patient file, the patient form here. Go to browse and select patient form. select the patient. So we have a workflow here. The form, let's say after the form that created by a user will be editable only by the creator or the one who create the form. So after 2 days, the form will be read only to everyone. It means it cannot be edited unless we give permission. After 30 days, the form will be hidden to the nurses, but visible to all doctors and nurses and admin staff or managers or quality. So it's hidden only to the assigned. Okay, 30 days after creating the form. So as you can see, these are the forms. You can just open. It's like a patient folder. So if the patient has 2 years with you, so you can see all the files here with month by month. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we have also here the S bar. So the S bar, it's like the endorsement form. So we call it S bar. So date and time. So it's like the summary of care being provided by the patient. So the informations that we created will flow here. Example, in the background section, we have the medical history. So these are the one that forms that we created before. We just select allergies. So yeah, significant test. The medications of the patient, again, we can see the medications here, just select. So here we can put the next hospital visit, appointment time, in which facility. So referral facility, it's the referral source. Okay, the hospital where give a referral to you or give the patient, the doctor. So referral facility physician is not, I'm not sure if you will use it. This is not the Albait physician. This is the physician of other facility. So you can register it here. A new value, the name of doctor, which facility. The facility, you can also enter it. So these are the hospital. Country and city. Okay. So I suggest the one who will register the patient will be the one to register also the external facility doctor and the facility or referral facility. So here we have the assessment. So again, when you select a drop down, it will show the drop list of the forms we created. So review of system. So this is our previous assessment. Vital signs. Okay. So this is more of like the summary of the event or the forms created today, as of today. So this one is done only once, then being updated on daily basis. Plan of, yeah. All right. Okay, so example, so the next day, this need to be updated by the next nurse on duty. Or if there's no changes happen, so no need to update this. Okay. If complain. So example, this was created today, but yesterday, the next nurse on duty don't need to create it again. You just need to update it, change the date to the 27th, then update the complaint. Okay, if you can put no, maybe, or add a new complaint, maintain the medical history, allergy, maybe there's another allergy added, medications, maybe one is removed and new one are entered, then no, visit is finished. Just click next, then save. All right. So this is the S bar. So there's one form I forgot to discuss to you, the intake and output. Click plus, select notation. Select intake and output. So these are the good for 24 hours intake. So for some patient with close intake and output monitoring, you need to create this. Okay. This is divided into 24 sections per hour basis. So example, you came at 7 o'clock. The patient had intake of oral. What kind of intake the patient had? Ample water or bread. You can put how many ml and output. Let's say urine and stool. We need to put description. Okay. Then the amount will be fully soaked diaper. So yeah, so we can enter per hour basis here, or or after 2 hours. So it depends on the the intake and output of the patients. For visit, intermittent visit, usually we do not record because it's hard to measure. It's just 2 hours a day, so there's no point of monitoring. For 24 hours or 12 hours, we monitor the intake and output. Okay. All right. So this is most of the nurses' documentations. Now we move to the physiotherapy documentations. So physiotherapy documentation is less than nurse documentation. So let's open one file. Let's go to patient one again. So click plus, select rehabilitation. So for rehabilitations, so these are some of the basic assessments, IM tool. So
John?
It's the score for the, yes, doctor?
This one will be assigned for the physiotherapist?
Yes, physiotherapist.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Our physiotherapists are with us now.
Oh, all right, good, doctor. Okay. Okay. So just look on it, PTs, because this is currently what we have in UAE. Maybe you will have different requirements. Okay. So the first evaluation that we do is our assessment is the physiotherapy evaluation form. So this is the first form that we create. So we have here the physiotherapy impression. Evaluation type can be initial or re-evaluation. It means re-evaluation, it's like based on your plan. Sometimes you return back and do some re-evaluation. So actually, I don't know much of this form because I'm not a PT. So you have the goals, short-term goals, duration, your treatment plans. All right. Now, once you did your assessment, you need to create also some minor assessment forms, which are the level of function, manual muscle testing, range of motion tool. So I think you know this already. So this is just done during admission, okay? Not always. The form that you always create are the physiotherapy notes. Here. You do this every time you visit a patient, you do a session. Okay? Date, time in or start, time out, then time out. So this is like a soap format. The subjective. You can add new entries, add new value here. The objective. Assessment. Yeah. And assessment. Then your plan. Okay. Then in this lower section is where you put your treatment and the duration of the treatment. I don't know there, but you know here, it's very important because the CPT codes are being encoded based on this management, what they put here. Also, the duration matters. So the next treatment, if you let's say you do active ROM here, then here you do TENS. And duration. And if you see, just put not applicable if you nothing had to do. Yeah. So you need to create this every time there's a session. Okay. Also, you know, you need to create a plan of care. Physiotherapists, your own plan of care. So there are codes here. Some physiotherapy codes. And duration of the plan, frequency, etc. So self-explanatory. All right. So, physiotherapists, do you need any special requirements from this documentation?
Thank you, John.
Yeah, it's okay. It's enough.
Can we add a discharge summary for physiotherapists?
Yeah, actually I have here. Forgot to show you. Thank you for reminding me. Discharge summary. Select physiotherapy discharge summary. So we have date of initial session, total number of session performed. So just check if this is all the fields are required by you or you need more. Or let's say completed. They're completed. Okay. Physiotherapy not needed. It means care is completed. What are the goals achieved? Okay. Do you need this printable? Okay. Then great. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So that's the physiotherapy discharge summary. For the physicians, we have also, yeah, the discharge summary form, medical discharge summary. So currently it's not printable, but as Dr. Kader, we will implement this. So just check all the forms that you needed in MIMS. Check the fields if you need or no. Just tell me, I will remove. If you need more, I will add. Okay. Since we are on the what we call the pilot, you know, when we launch a new system, it's a pilot phase. Okay, so it means there will be issues. Issues always happen. We will fix it. Okay. Until the patient became and until the system became more stable, more suitable for you. So, do you have any questions? I think we are pretty much done. So, we have another we have another form here, the complaint and incident reporting. So we have it also. So I will just take the opportunity to discuss this because this is one of the important requirements as well. So, you know, sometimes incident happen and complaints arrives. Okay. So how we enter it on the system, same way as entering other forms. We select incident, it is alphabetical, incident. So there is two kind of incident. It could be complaint or an actual incident report. So I will just explain you how to enter it on the system. The comparison between the two, the theoretical content, you can discuss it with our quality, Dr. Yasser Basha. Okay. So complaint, let's say one patient call complaining about some regarding schedule. Example, some change, they forgot, the nurse forgot to go to the patient. Okay? Supposed to visit but did not visit. That is what the most common complaint we receive, or late visit. So we have here the date and time of complaint. The complainant will be the patient. Let's say the patient. If the patient is the complainant, it will link to the patient record. Record. Okay, we select who is the patient. We can type. If we have long patient, long list. Let's say MRN1. Okay. So other information like birth date, gender, and number is automatic. Now we have brief description of complaint. Okay, we will describe what happened. Okay, the nurse is 1 hour late from visit. Scheduled visit. Now, who is the staff involved? Let's say there is one staff involved, or the reporter is the involved. Okay? So the reporter is the one who will create the form. Sometimes he is not the one who is the involved. Sometimes the reporter will be the one from info or information or on the telephone or the call center. Okay? What is the employee name? So we select, let's say John. I am the employee who is late. Okay. Then who is the line manager? I will put my name as well. It's important to put the line manager because this line manager will undergo the investigation and action. So I click create. Now I go to the workflow. So I log the complaint. Then yeah, it is sent to me, the line manager. Now the line manager will be emailed and assigned to me. Example, I am the line manager who will do the investigation. I will have an assignment here. It will be emailed in the email, through email, notified. Then I will have an assignment here about the complaint. Usually, who manage the complaint is the quality. They are the one oversee the complaint, check if an action is taken or is it resolved. Now, the line manager will need to do investigation. Example, there was let's say there was accident in the road. That's why the nurse is late. For traffic, say. Now, what is the corrective action by the line manager? Inform the family that it is not the nurse's fault. So everyone can enter complaint, not only everyone have access. Now, the line manager will change the state to reviewed. Okay? Once she did an investigation and action, the quality or the someone managing the complaint will do the quality review. Okay? So there is here complaint category. We can classify it to non-clinical or clinical. Complaint category, so stuff related. So Dr. Yasser will give more of the how to answer it. There is a root cause analysis. We have policies and procedure. What is the preventive action taken? So let's say recommend change for the policy, so etc. So this complaint can be escalated to the senior manager or to the direct CEO or to the upper management. So we just need to put who is the senior manager or the one who will do further investigation, example me, then it will be assigned to her. So it's like more on escalation. Right. So now let's say everything is solved. We need to close this complaint. But yeah, but I need to fill all the data. First. Then from reviewed complaint line manager, I will select resolve complaint. Okay. I forgot to complaint classification. Yeah. So these are important to be filled out because it will give us reports. How many is justifiable complaint? How many is not? Okay. So I will, let's say this is solved complaint. So I can create, I have a report here for okay. So here on the PC version, we have the quality forms and we have complaint by month or all complaint. So let's open it. So I can see these are the complaint. So we can generate a report here, let's say a log of how many complaints, which is justifiable, which is non-justifiable. Okay. All right. So here we can I will teach you how to create a view for a report columns. So example, this complaint, I will just select, choose, right click here, select choose column. See, it's very small, sorry for that. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. So, we can, this is very important requirement, complaint log. So all complaints should be logged. So when we live memes, we should try to log this also to start this. Also the incident report works with the same way, works in the same way with complaint. So right click again. So incident. So what are the incident? Example, medication error, patient fall due to negligence, or sentinel event. So it works the same way. We have the type of incident involved in the incident, description of the incident. So I have a user guide for this. I will send you, so it will be much easier. But you know, it's pretty much the same as the complaint log. Okay. Do you have any special requirements for the IR and complaint? Okay. So there is another section for a Saudi FDA drug list. So from here we can search the drug and see who is the manufacturer based on the trade name. So I have the registration number also. Okay. All right. Do you have question? Okay. So I sent you your username and password, right? You can change your username and password for to ensure security here. Click on the side, then select change password. Okay, you're old and new. So you know, because it's very confidential, your password. No one should know this except yourself. Using the PC version, need it here. You can access it here on the right upper side as well. Then change password. You can change also the language to Arabic, but it's the menu. I think only the menu will be changed. But the content is same. English, still English. Now I don't know how to return it back. Okay. Anyways.
I will help you.
Sorry. Okay, it's okay, doctor. Where doctor here?
The one up next. No. The one below. Aywa, this one.
Aywa. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then this one?
Yes.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. That's pretty much all, doctor. So, do you have any questions or?
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, what I will do is implement some of the changes that you request, like on the diagnosis. I will implement it, and I will reset the MRN. I will remove all these forms that we create. I will remove. So we will now put the actual patients. Maybe tomorrow morning. If you can start today. Once we enter the patient, we need to assign the nurses and the physiotherapists and the doctors. We need to put all the details. After that, we can ask the nurse to enter the medications, the documentations, the physiotherapy documentation. So, is it okay with you? For issues, wait. You need to. I will send email as well for meme support team. So for memes concerns, you can email here. While we are not yet, fully training Mr. Amjad for memes, so some of the assistance it will be needed from us. So once he is trained next week, so and Sir Yasser Qurashi will do the training for the IT. So he will after that he will primarily or someone will primarily do support. But for we will as long as you need us, you need me, I will provide support. Okay, so this is the email of meme support.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
And I will send it also to you. So, is there anything you need from me? So, more the learning, more we will learn in when we use the system. Okay. Also tomorrow, I will start configuration. After I did the changes, I will start use. You have your laptops. I will configure memes on your laptops, especially for the doctors. For the nurses and physiotherapists, I think they will use iPads or tablets, Android tablet. So that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you. I hope you learned a lot.
Thank you very much, John.
Okay, bye. Thank you.